microphone came. So of course we're going to set it up here. This is Toner's microphone kit, going for about $50 on Amazon right now. It comes with a condenser mic, along with everything you need to get started using it. Here we got a pop filter, a windscreen, which is a little deformed, but it'll sort itself out. Next we got ourselves an XLR to 3.5mm cable, and we have a so-called audio interface, but I really don't think this thing is going to work out very well, though we'll try it out. And here we have the microphone, the BM700, which actually looks pretty nice and feels pretty solid. Here's a USB-A to USB-V cable, a shock mount, and here's the boom, which looks like it already has the XLR cable built in. Anyways, here's the instructions, and this here is the phantom power unit. Because our microphone is a condenser mic, we need 48 volts of phantom power in order for it to function. Finally, the clamp for the base of the stand. I'm going to set it all up and see if I can set up my audio through Voicemeeter Banana properly, but I'll do that part off camera. Oh yeah, also if you guys watched last episode, then you remember I thought my RGB strip was plugged in backwards, but it turns out it wasn't plugged into the motherboard all the way. However, it looks like a few LEDs on the strip are bad anyways, so I might have to replace the strip or maybe just cut off the bad bit. But I'll take care of that later. For now, I'm trying to figure out which side I should mount the new mic on. As long as the cables can reach, I think I'll end up setting it up on the left side. That way it's further away from my mouse hand, though I'm not really sure how much that matters. In addition, I'll be less likely to break it with my ass when I get in and out of bed. I'm going to see about mounting the phantom power behind my desk if I can, but I'll get started and get back to you guys. Alrighty, well the cables will reach with the mic mounted on the left, so I'm going to use some 3M double-sided tape to mount the phantom power to the back of the desk right in the middle. Now I'm plugging in the XLR end of the 3.5mm to XLR into the input of the phantom power. Right, now that that's situated, let's get this boom mounted. Well, I've set up the mic, played with it a little, and it sounds pretty good, especially for the price. But I will say it doesn't seem to be much of an improvement in my opinion from my Sennheiser GSP 301 headset mic. It does feel cool and professional to have a proper mic with a boom and everything, and I will be doing more testing and potentially even get a new audio interface to test with. I have to say though, with proper post-processing or mixing, I think I could get my headset mic to sound pretty good, and an audio interface will solve most of my current issues. But we'll come back to this with a before and after test. For now, let's get started on some proper studiofication. First up, we got our AudioMute sound absorption blanket. I purchased this for $80 USD plus $15 shipping from Amazon. Although if you purchase more than one, they ship for free, and they also have a volume discount at 4 count, 12 count, and 25 count. These ain't cheap though, so I only bought one. I'm not an Amazon affiliate yet, but if you see anything you like, there will be links in the description. To mount the AudioMute sound blanket, it comes with hardware and grommets on the top and bottom. However, the dimensions are 95 inches by 54 inches, so we are mounting it sideways because it better suits covering my wall. In order to mount it sideways, I used a staple gun to pin it up. I had to make sure that the middle layer of insulation was sandwiched between the outside layers before stapling it to prevent sagging. Next, let's put up the furniture pads by Somide, which I originally purchased for $35 a piece from Amazon. However, Somide has since discontinued this listing and have a newer listing going for $40.99 for the 72-inch by 80-inch black and white furniture pad. Of course, there may be other sizes or colors that suit you, and possibly other listings on decent furniture pads are cheaper. Or perhaps you're already planning on slapping up a million AudioMute sound blankets to cover every inch of your room twice. But this is just what I ended up getting at the time to get my desired color and not have to spend another fortune on more sound blankets. I learned the hard way, but I definitely recommend letting these air out somewhere, maybe outside, or washing these before hanging them due to the strong chemical smell. As you can see, I'm applying adhesive Velcro, or hook and loop tape I should say. I bought 5 yards of Strenco 2-inch adhesive black hook and loop tape for about $13 on Amazon. In theory, this would make putting up and taking down my furniture pads or budget sound blankets easy and manageable, but in hindsight, adhesive and fabric don't really get along, and unless you plan on stitching on Velcro, a better alternative, in addition what I transitioned to using instead, are heavy-duty clamps that you can get from Amazon or any local hardware store. What I attempted to do with the Velcro was cut it to measure the spacing of the curtain rod supports, as well as match the circumference of the curtain rod itself. After my futile effort of setting up the Velcro, I began mounting it only to realize it is backwards. I determined the top should wrap over and away from my setup instead of towards, since it's the side I'll be looking at the most. So I turned it around and started mounting it on the other side, but nothing lined up very well, and I ended up cutting a lot of Velcro off to help match it up better anyways. I'd like to quickly mention before moving on that putting all this insulation up might be my undoing, as it is already pretty warm in my room, hence my shirt being off, and it's not even summer. Last summer, on days with heavy PC use, my room reached temperatures of 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit, even when the outside temp was sometimes 10 degrees cooler. So yeah, this summer I'll have an additional computer pumping out heat and plenty of insulation to go along with it. Please play Rip and Tear at my funeral. At this point, I wasn't sure if it was better to have the black side or the white side facing the setup, where I'd be sitting in front of with the camera pointed at me. The white side would look more consistent and aesthetically pleasing, but the black side would be a better backdrop for recording against. So after some thought, I decided on function over form, and I began hanging the second furniture pad with the black side facing out. I mean, let's face it, I'm just as white as the Razer Mercury lineup, so I definitely need the contrast. And by the way, don't confuse my sunburn for a tan. Now that all of our sound blankets are up, I've made a few more changes, including adding a bit more acoustic foam and adding Velcro to the furniture pads so that they can fold up and out of the way instead of having to take them down. In addition, I added adhesive Velcro to my TV remote mount and phone mount and stick them to my wall next to my bed. Here's what we end up with. I think it's looking pretty good. Moving on, we finally get our audio interface. It's a Focusrite Scarlett Solo 3rd Gen, which should hopefully fix a lot of our problems. This is a renowned audio interface that a lot of people recommended, so I figured we'd give it a go. I bought it for about $100 on Amazon, and it has a single XLR input with 48-volt phantom power, as well as a 1/4-inch jack input for an instrument or whatnot. It supports a 1/4-inch jack output for playback through headphones or headset, and allows direct monitoring with a push of a button. It plugs in and outputs to your PC via USB-C to USB-A cable, which comes in the box. It also supports stereo output via left and right 1/4-inch jack, now which cables for this are not included. It has gain knobs for mic and instrument inputs, as well as a volume knob to control monitoring or playback output. This particular listing came with an XLR cable as well. Here are a few audio clips comparing my headset mic to the toner mic before and after the changes to my room.
Hey guys, what's going on today? Mighty Lighty here with another video.
Alright, this is with my toner microphone with no EQ or anything, no compression. Alright, and now we're recording through just the Focusrite. The gain is a lot lower, so I'm going to turn it up to about 60%. We're at about 50% gain, and already you could tell it's less gain and it's still louder than my headset mic. Alright, and this is my headset microphone through the USB audio interface that came with the toner microphone. This is my microphone through the USB audio interface pumped into RTX voice with noise suppression. Alright, let's conclude real quick. The toner mic is a perfectly suitable budget option that comes with everything you need to get started for less than $50. However, if you already have a headset mic or something suitable enough and you are willing to put some effort into learning some post-processing or mixing, then I would recommend getting a solid audio interface or mixer instead, and then, with the foundation laid, you can upgrade your mic to something even better than the toner mic in the future. To clarify on whether you should get an audio interface or a mixer, an interface is used to amplify audio as clean as possible from a mic level to a line level signal, but will not provide any immediate means of processing or equalizing audio. They are far simpler to set up and use, especially if you are new to audio, and are suitable for recording audio that may have post-processing done to it later, such as for YouTube videos or music production. However, if you are doing anything live, then I recommend getting a mixer so you can apply post-processing and equalization to your audio signal immediately during time of recording. There are still other options that can imitate the effects of a mixer for live recording if you choose to go with an interface, such as applying filters in OBS, but be aware of the pros and cons. I personally use a donationware software called Voicemeter, which is a virtual mixer. There's definitely trade-offs of going this route. The software is practically free unless you would like to donate, of course, and it is very flexible. However, it can be very complicated to set up depending on your setup. It can introduce unwanted noise, and it can take a toll on performance, with upwards of 20% CPU usage on my i5-9600K, which is especially important if you're using a single PC setup. Moving on, the USB interface that came with the toner mic is not very good. It's not utter trash as long as you apply noise reduction or use RTX voice if that's available to you, but even still, you're most likely better off plugging into your motherboard's rear I/O. I should also mention that unless your room is very echoey to begin with, the audio treatment isn't going to be the most impactful upgrade, that being an interface or mixer. It definitely helps and dampens sounds such as the TV in the living room, but it was less of an improvement than I initially anticipated. Anyways, guys, I'm definitely still learning about this stuff and figuring it out as I go, so if I got anything wrong, please let me know in the comments, and please excuse the periodic popping as I'm still getting to the bottom of it. I'll have links for everything in the description, and if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Even if I don't know the answer off the top of my head, it is a perfect opportunity for me to learn something new and pass that knowledge on to all of you. And with that, hopefully I helped some of you, and I wish you all a fantastic day and a Happy New Year.